bless the Lord for this morning. We bless the Lord for the word of the Lord and what God has been speaking and telling us as His people. We are ready to give what thus said the Lord accordingly. We know that we're in the time in the season now. We're still teaching about the season, the new season. And I will still stand that same vein. And I want us to understand something. That I want us to understand that we are in the place where yes, we're talking about the new season. Yes, we're talking about fullness. We're talking about the fullness of everything, the fullness of what God's give, and bless, and do, and anointing, and all of that. And but there always is little pointers that get us to think. But what is God saying in the gist of all of this? And you know there's different notes, and different weeks, and different Sundays that said things have been said that God's saying, this is what I'm saying in the midst of the fullness of everything. I'm still saying this, and this, right? So that's why each week, even though it relates to, it connects to the full new season, it's always a different point that connects to it, okay? Because what God's trying to bring us into is the fullness of the season, to receive the season in the right mind-heart spirit, okay, in the level of maturity, when He grant and give it, okay, so that we can maintain in that place. Now watch this, because before He give that, there has to be a level of maturity, okay? All right, now watch this. Now, one of the things that's taking place is, because I know I taught months ago about the dawn, okay? When I taught about the dawn, okay? Now, and in teaching about those different settings that I'm taught from, now what we have to understand is this. This place we're in now is to do some set things to prepare us, okay? Set things to prepare us, okay? Now, there's two things that God is doing. There's two things that God is doing. And these two things that God is doing, you're going to understand why, when I give you this message title, why He's giving me this title. Now, everybody understand that everybody's saying certain things. Everybody's saying, talking about the power. Everybody talking about the blessings. Everybody talking about the anointing. Everybody talking about these certain things. Everybody talking about going through trials, tribulation. Everybody talking about all the different things. What's the order of God? Now, and nothing you hear people call us the fire. You know, going through the fire. You know what I mean? So, it's all here, going through the fire. You know what I mean? Going through the fire. Yeah, okay, watch this now. But what we have to understand is, whenever we are going to a place of the fullness of God, based on the season He's getting ready to give us, you have to understand, we have to go in the fiery furnace. You have to go in. Because the fourth man has to be seen. And so now, because when they look in, this off the fourth. It's like a fourth person. You know, we understand that representation of God. That's just that. So we all have to go in there. And you can't escape that furnace. That furnace is necessary because the furnace is necessary to burn and purify so that we can come to a place of purity and maturity. So now, you might say, okay, now what does that have to do with the full new season? Today we're going to deal with a title called the Ordained Fire. Ordained Fire. And this is how it's going to relate. But now, the subtopic under that is the ordained fire is for the purpose of birthing one into a purified new season. The ordained fire is for the purpose of birthing one into a purified new season. See, in other words, what we have to understand is why the ordained fire. See, the ordained fire is necessary because what it does, it gets us to a place where it burns up everything. Okay. See, in other words, what God's saying is, I'm not going to just place you in the fullness any kind of way. So I'm not going to place you in the fullness any kind of way because I've invested so much in you. I have to burn up these impurities through refining you. And through refining you, I have to refine you because I invested much in you. It's no different than a car. Someone who's spent much money in a car, the old car that they rebuilt. Okay? What they're saying is, listen, if it start raining and the topper's not on it, you want to go and run to put that top on it to cover it up, because I invest money in this car. You're not messing up my seats and all this money I invested in this car. I didn't put too much money in this car. I don't worship this, but I ain't crazy. This rain can destroy this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run and put this cover over this thing, because I invested much in this. I don't know hours that I sit out there and sanding and sanding and sanding. I ain't been having the person really come in and just do my car. I did a lot of work myself, besides maybe a guy to do body work. Besides that, I did a lot of work myself. I did a lot of work myself, many Saturdays, and many Monday afternoons, and many sometimes Sunday evenings after church. I went out there and was doing things on the car. So you mean to tell me all this work I put in this car, I'm going to let the rain destroy certain parts of the car, and I won't have the top on it? I'm going to go out there and put this top up and put this cover back on and make sure it don't get destroyed. Because I invested a lot of my time in this car. And so what God is saying is, I'm going to invest a lot of time in you, a lot of time in you, a lot of time in you, a lot of time in you. So I'm not going to let this get destroyed. So when I bring you into this place of the new season so that you can shine, I'm going to make sure you're right. I'm going to make sure you're right. So the covering of the car is representation of a grace covering us. That's what it is. He said this rain is going to come, watch this, not the rain of blessings yet. This rain is going to come is this level of warfare. This rain is going to come is this level of fire based on the trials and tribulations that some are ordained and sometimes even the dots from the devil. So that I have to cover with my grace and make sure you don't get destroyed. Because remember something, in the midst of the fire, many, even though a lot of things is ordained of God, many lose it in that, and it's God, and many lose it. It has nothing to do with the devil trials or his darts. Many have lose their mind of the devil. You know, you can almost say, okay, well, whatever, you kind of also understand to a degree. But when it's God, you know you want to try to maintain when it's God. You want to try to maintain when it's God, and when it's God, some people lose it. So what do God do? When it's Him and you, we lose it. What do He do? Because He said, this was me and you lost it. If I would let the devil unleash on you, if God would let the devil get unleashed on us, I'm talking about, even though you know He can't destroy it, but I mean in the degree that He allowed Him to, we'll lose our mind. He said, you can't even handle my fire. You can't even handle my fire. See? So now this thing, He said, I'm not going to let you be destroyed. I'm not going to let you be ruined. Because the ruin part is of what we call reproach. And the reproach is a part of the shame. Not the shame that God has ordained. So let me explain something to you. Watch this. The Bible said, talk about, I would say, oh Lord Jesus, a bit embarrassed, been shamed. He kind of give us a paraphrase about, don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Watch this. And He's going to redeem us. Watch this. Yes. There's times when the Spirit of God Himself will allow you to feel embarrassed.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh yes.
He will allow you to feel embarrassed. He said, you know why? I'm going to allow you to feel embarrassed to kill you. And this killing how to do is of your spirit based on your flesh. That's prideful and stubborn and mean and nasty and haughty and unforgiving. I'm killing all of this because I need to purify you, to bring you to this place where these things that is in you need to die. So if I embarrass you where everybody see a lot of different things, it's going to make you feel like crawling under a chair. But in the midst of you feel like crawling under the chair, I'm purifying that little pride in you. Who do you think you are anyway? Like I said last week, many saints are praying like that. They're praying like the Lazarus experience scenario. Like they said, Jesus, why didn't you come sooner? If you would have just came, he would have been alive. He said, basically, it's good that I didn't come. He said, it's good that I didn't come. He said, now that you may believe. He said, this is what God said to a lot of his people. It's good that I didn't come, and I'm not showing up now. Because they're looking at your situation, listen, your situation stink. It stink. It stink. It stink. And God says, I'm glad that it stink. And I want them to say that it stink, because I'm ready to say, come forth. I'm ready to say, come forth. See, the ordained fire is to purify. It is to purify. But let me tell you something. What God is saying is, and I haven't even got into the message yet. What we got to understand is, what God is saying is, this fire is to purify us to receive the season right. See? To receive the season right. What he's saying is, everything that I need to correct in you, I'm going to correct it. Because you need to receive this season right. That when I give it to you, those with spiritual eyes, watch this, will not be perplexed. See what I mean? God, watch this. God realistically don't owe you an explanation or me an explanation. Realistically. But you understand that out of his mercy he explained to us and tell us. You get it? Watch this. He do that. He's just that merciful to us. Because you know how we do that. So he do that for us, okay? Out of love. Watch this. When you, hypothetically speaking, you receive your full new season, so that I can, and she can, understand what God did do, so we can understand his system to the degree, but not understand all, because we can never figure him totally out. So that we can understand some things, but not the fullness of. He's going to allow us to see the change with you when you receive it. What he's saying is, yes, I don't owe them an explanation. Watch this now. But I want my people who understand to understand that what I'm saying pertaining to seasons and my people corporately is true and real. So if I say, like if I'm speaking now, I'm preaching now, and I'm saying that God's going to purify before he gives us the season. If I'm preaching this message to you, then that means if your spirit receive it, then that means you expect it to be that way if you believe this is God. Watch this. Now, if you believe this is God and I'm speaking this way, that means you expect to see that even with yourself or others, because it was spoken by a vessel. So if that's the case, if no one changes and everyone gets the season, you say, God, I thought you said you purified before the season comes. So now if that's the case, what he's saying is this here. We got to see your change, even though he don't owe us an explanation, but it's to prove that what his vessels are speaking is true. So that means he's not just trying to explain to you because you need to be justified to prove, because you don't need to prove nothing to you by the vessels. Sorry. But to prove that his word is true, what his vessels are speaking about this area, about his people, corporately, he will allow us to see his change in receiving his season. You say, well, what does it have to do with anything? That's to have to do with the perplexed part. See, this is what it has to do with the perplexed part. Because remember now, many of his people are thinking and pondering and talking in their mind all the time to God and about what they see. Judgmental or even positive or negative. So now God understands all that in his people's mind. Watch this. So because he understands that, he understands that you're saying, I thought you said, God, based on what this man of God or that woman of God spoke, that you're purifying your people before receiving the season. So because God understands you're thinking that and asking that question, he will make sure you see me changed with my new season. So that you don't walk away thinking that what was spoken by other vessels was a lie. Because his word still got to be declared and decreed and also to be proven to be true. Why is this point being made? This point is being made for this reason. We have to understand what's being said is for real. That means you have to understand what's being said is for real. So that really means all of us in the kingdom, you understand, we're not going to skip over anything. So for that reason, we have to understand this point and understand it is for real. So that means we're not going to skip over anything. So if that's the case, then we have to understand this point that God is saying is real. Watch this. The ordained fire is for the purpose of birthing one into a purified new season. He said, you can get this new season, but I'm purifying you. I'm purifying you to bring you to this place right. Let's look up the word ordained. The definition of the word ordained.